Stop. If you're considering financing the purchase of a solar power system, then you need to watch this video first, because I'm going to be teaching you a few things that your solar salesman didn't tell you that could save you thousands on your solar system purchase. This video is sponsored by Climate First Bank, a provider of financing options for solar projects. Visit our website to explore our loan programs. All right, now in today's video, we're talking about things that you need to know and things that you need to consider before signing up for solar loan financing. Now, the first thing to consider is what is the cost of financing? And the first cost, of course, is going to be your interest. What interest rate are you paying for your financing? Now, when you look at your interest rate, make sure that you look at both the interest rate and the effective APR. Sometimes lenders can roll additional fees and expenses on top of the interest, which may not be reflected in the interest rate, but should be shown in the effective APR. Now, of course, you also want to consider what are your total of interest payments. Your solar financing agreement should disclose what would be the total amount of interest paid should you make all the payments and keep the loan to full term. Now, of course, solar loans come in different lengths and terms. It could be as little as 3 or 5 years, could be all the way up to 20, 25, or even 30 years. And the idea a lot of times with solar loan financing is to term the loan out long enough so that the monthly payment for your solar loan reaches parity or might even be below parity with your electric bill savings. And that's how a lot of times solar can pay for itself, because what you save on your monthly electric bill more than covers the cost of your solar loan payment, especially if you're using the longer term loans like the 20, 25, or 30-year loans. Now, of course, typically with a longer term loan, you will pay more total interest over the lifetime of the loan, but that's what you're trading off to get that lower monthly payment. So there's always going to be that trade-off between, do you want the lowest monthly payment possible, or do you want to avoid paying as much interest as possible, in which case you would go with a shorter term loan with potentially a lower interest rate. And then, of course, finally, we have to consider the dealer fees. Now, I know dealer fees are part of the solar financing equation that the industry doesn't really like to talk about, but they could dramatically inflate the price of your solar power system. Okay, so what are dealer fees? Dealer fees are fees that financing institutions charge solar installers, and the solar installers have to pass those costs on to homeowners. Now, these fees could be anywhere 20, 30, even 40% of the total contract amount. But oftentimes, the contractor does not disclose that the dealer fees are being passed on to the customer. Oftentimes, the customer looks at a solar quote, they think they're just paying for parts and labor, not realizing that the parts and labor figures have been inflated to account for the higher cost of the dealer fees. Now, if you're considering financing your solar system with a lease, there are a few other things that you have to consider. Now, when you finance solar with a lease or with a power purchase agreement, you don't actually own the solar equipment. You're agreeing to make a certain monthly payment schedule to your leasing company. The leasing company actually owns the solar system. And in some cases, that monthly payment may have an escalator, meaning the monthly payment that you pay to the leasing company could increase by 2 or 3% each year over the lifetime of the lease. So even though you're quoted a certain monthly payment in year one, you may be paying a much higher payment 10 or 20 years in the future. And of course, the other thing you have to consider is that many leases require you to make the total of lease payments regardless of how long of a term you take. So if you move or you sell the home, all of those lease payments may need to be paid at the time that the home is transferred in order to any security interest to be released from the property. Okay, so here are some questions that you have to ask before signing the solar financing agreement. Number one is, are there any dealer fees? Make sure your contractor discloses any dealer fees. Or, of course, another way to ask this is, what's the price if I pay cash for the system? What's the cash price for the system? Now, you also want to know what is your price per watt. And you calculate price per watt by taking your total contract amount or your total system cost and dividing it by the total wattage of your solar panel array. This gives you a way that you can more easily compare quotes apples to apples, looking at your cost per unit of power produced, as opposed to just looking at total cost. Now, you may also want to consider working with an FDIC-regulated bank that can help you compare multiple financing products. You know, there are some lenders out there that offer excellent solar loans with no dealer fees, competitive interest rates with terms up to 30 years. In fact, that's a great time to introduce today's video sponsor, Climate First Bank. Today's video is brought to you by Climate First Bank. If you're looking for a solar financing partner that offers competitive rates, no dealer fees, and a simple online application process, then you need to take a look at Climate First Bank. Climate First Bank is committed to ethical solar financing with full transparency, competitive interest rates, no dealer fees, no prepayment penalties, and a secure online application process. You can shop confidently knowing that Climate First vets its contractors, verifying licensing, insurance, warranties, and financial statements. Apply directly on the Climate First Bank website and you'll be matched with an approved installer in your area. So if you're ready to start your renewable energy journey with a financing partner you can trust, then go directly to climatefirstbank.com/surge so you can get matched with an approved installer in your area right away. Okay, now there are a couple other things that you're going to want to consider. The first is your eligibility for the solar tax credit. Now, here in the United States, solar investments receive a 30% federal tax credit from the IRS. But it's not guaranteed that you're going to qualify for the tax credit or to receive all of the tax credit in the first year. Some cases come to mind, people that are on Social Security, disability income, or military disability income. A lot of times that income is not taxable, and therefore the homeowner cannot take advantage of that full solar tax credit. And this is important also because a lot of solar financing, when they quote you a monthly payment, they may show you a monthly payment that is a lower cost in, let's say, the first year or 2 years, based on the assumption that you're going to receive that 30% tax credit and pay it to the financing company to lock in that lower monthly payment. If you don't do the pay down, if you don't get the tax credit, then your monthly payment could jump up. So make sure that you ask your salesman about this. And of course, I'm not a tax professional. I'm not giving you any tax advice here, but make sure that you consult your accountant or your tax professional to check your eligibility for the solar tax credit. Don't bank on getting that full tax credit until you've talked to your tax professional. Now, another thing you'll want to consider is any impacts of the solar installation on your homeowner's insurance. So I would advise you to reach out to your insurance company, let them know that you're planning to install solar, and figure out if any adjustments need to be made to your policy to make sure that you don't miss any coverage. Also, for those of you watching in Florida, if you have a solar system over a certain size, I believe it's 10 kilowatts AC at the time of this recording, you may need to obtain Tier 2 insurance coverage. And basically that just means that you have to have a slightly higher liability insurance on your property to cover any damage that the utility company may incur as a result of interconnecting your solar power system. Another thing that you want to be aware of is that there will be a UCC filing essentially securing a lien on the solar panels. Now, that lien will likely have to be addressed when it comes time to sell your home, and then the solar loan would be paid off as part of the home closing process. And finally, you need to check the warranties on your solar system installation. And you should have both an installer warranty. The installer warranty should cover any defects in equipment, as well as workmanship. You want to make sure your workmanship, your wiring, all your conduit runs, and especially your roof penetrations are guaranteed for a minimum of 5 years. Now, of course, you also should have warranties from your equipment manufacturers. Most Tier 1 solar panels are going to come with a 25-year performance guarantee, as well as your inverter manufacturer should provide anywhere from a 10 up to a 25-year warranty as well. Now, some premium solar panel companies offer a labor warranty as well, which means that in the unlikely event that the contractor that does your original installation goes out of business, or for whatever reason they're not able to provide service for the system, the solar panel manufacturer will, at their own expense, hire another technician to come out to swap out a defective solar panel. So this has been a discussion of things that you need to consider before signing that solar loan. Of course, if you're a homeowner, if you're in the process of looking at different solar or battery storage options for your home, if you need to get a price quote, or maybe you already have a price quote, you need to get a comparison quote to make sure that you're getting the right equipment, getting the best deal, getting the best financing. As always, you can reach out to us on the link below here. Set up a call with a solar surge expert, or you can just use the free online calculator tool to see how much solar and storage cost in your area. If you're looking to set up financing for your solar system purchase, of course, we recommend Climate First Bank. You can reach out on the link below here, climatefirstbank.com/surge, where you can do the simple online application process and get matched with an approved installer in your area. Well, that pretty much does it for today's video. I thank you all for spending some more time on the Solar Surge channel. Of course, if you're getting good value from these videos here, give us a thumbs up and also give us a subscribe as well. We're trying to get that subscriber count over 100,000 this year. Well, that does it for today. As always, I'm Joe Ordia here, encouraging you to get prepared and be empowered. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.